And welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. That's a picture of the old Fort Schuyler Park that no longer exists. Joe Bottini's our guest. I remember, Joe, I was saying earlier in the show, I remember that as a boy.
Oh, really?
Going over there, and there was a little, you could actually drive around that. It was a dead-end street there, and there was a little road, and you drove around it and came back out on Main Street. But that was just a little bit to the south of the actual fort.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now, we were talking before the break about Garrett Smith. Garrett Smith had a, I'm going to show this picture. This is on Broad Street. 301 Broad Street, is it, Joe?
I'm not sure. Just east of Mohawk Street.
Okay.
On the south side.
And there's a group of people out there. What are they doing out there?
That's the day that they installed a plaque commemorating the site of Garrett Smith's residence.
Mm-hmm.
That was in 1932. Mm-hmm. And you notice they're all dressed, Joe. They're all dressed nicely, and quite a crowd for such a little thing. And the plaque, unfortunately, is no longer there.
In fact, you've got a close-up of, you can kind of see where the plaque was. There's an arrow pointing to it, and the plaque was put right there at that Broad Street location. And
the shading of it now where it used to be. The building is still there.
Mm-hmm.
The story of the plaque, I must admit, I wondered what happened to it. And I asked Frank Tomeno, and he told me that at one point they removed the plaque from the building and were going to use it on the corner of Charlotte and Bleecker, where they're having this little monument park, because that's where the first abolition...
The new Central Station.
Across from the Central Station, where the first abolition meeting was held in New York State, or was going to be held until the riot happened. And so he doesn't know what happened to it. That's about 12 years ago, and no one's seen it since. So
how many years ago?
About 12 years ago, 10 or 12 years ago. I'm guessing. But that's when they did that trail commission, and they established that. They have two markers there now about the abolition meeting happening in that corner, and it's probably in the bowels of the environs of the Parks Department or the the DPW. Or I'm going to call David Short and put some heat on him and see if he'll let me go down. I'll go down and search for it and wherever they store their stuff, and because I know they don't have time to do such things. And hopefully, if we get it, we can get it installed on that spot. Garrett Smith was too important a Utican to not have him remembered that way. Yeah.
You also brought, we've only got a couple minutes left, but you also brought this. Joe, what's the significance of that? This is the picture of the
That's the Great Pass. That shows the reason why we're here. If it wasn't for the geography and geology, sometimes it dictates what history happens. And because of the opening in the mountain range that ran from Maine to Georgia, the Appalachians, the only natural, semi-level water opening in that whole mountain range, that whole distance, was through the Mohawk Valley, the Mohawk River. And so they would come up the Hudson, up the Mohawk, and when they got to where Rome is now, they wanted to get onto Wood Creek to continue their traveling west, opening up the west, of course. And there's that small area, about a mile, that they had to traverse, and that was called the carrying place, because they had to unload their boats, carry their boats and goods to the next waterway, which was Wood Creek, and load them up again and travel on. And you got to Lake Ontario eventually through Oneida Lake, Oneida River, Oswego River, and then into Lake Ontario. And that opened up, once you got to the Great Lakes, opened up the west. And it was that episode, that event, that led us to become the Empire State, because we were the gateway to the new empire. And we got our nickname, the Empire State. When I tell folks that, they wondered where we got the nickname from. Yeah.
October 3rd, Hartshill Inn, you're going to be honored up there, along with Ed Jackson and Edith Tulo and Father Salerno from Our Lady of Lourdes. And people can call the United County History Center for tickets for that.
Rebecca's waiting for their call.
Good, and hopefully you'll come back and see us again. We'll talk some more history. And
Goes fast.
It does go fast, and keep plugging away with those two things that you want to get done: the plaque and the little park.
Before we go,
Yeah.
thank you. The Joe Kelly Show keeps local history alive.
Oh, that's nice of you to
Between
say.
you and Frank DeMano, otherwise it would probably die. Of course, Brian Howard does a good job.
Thank you. That's going to do it for us this week. We'll be back next week. We'll do it all again. Don't forget, CNYHomepage.com. Lots of good stuff there. Until next time, take care.